Hello again. As always, I hope you're doing fantastic. Today, I want to share with you some of my experiences with water fasting, some of the reasons why I do fasting in the first place, how to ease into the fast, strategies I use and employ to overcome some of the physical and psychological hurdles during the fast, as well as how to transition out of the fast. So why do a fast in the first place? I personally have done many fasts and experienced a wide variety of benefits. But today I'm going to share with you just 4 of the benefits that I was looking to gain from this most recent fast. Number 1, spiritual perspective. Number 2, mental clarity. Number 3, autophagy. And number 4, digestive reset. The spiritual perspective I have gained from fasting cannot be overstated. Each time there are new and higher levels of consciousness revealed to me by eliminating something that is so crucial to our survival. In so doing, I begin noticing more and more what's happening to me physiologically as well as psychologically, as it gives me pause to digest, if you will, my thoughts at a slower rate, and then see what feelings they subsequently lead to. I'm able to pick up the patterns of my thinking more acutely, as well as dictate the conversations I'm having with myself more authoritatively, moment to moment and day to day, which invariably leads me to a much higher spiritual ground. I also end up having a tremendous appreciation for all that I'm blessed to live with, as well as really come to honor this temple known as a body that I live with. Additionally, it's marvelous to me how mentally clear and focused I become days into the fast, as well as many days out of the fast. This has given me great insight to the effects that certain foods may be having on my mental clarity and energy levels. While eating some foods is done out of habit, it seems at times, with some distance, I'm able to see how they actually might be making me more sluggish or promoting food cravings that has me eating unnecessarily. Also, without food as a distraction or an oasis to get away from things, I'm forced to deal with the matters that are present in my life more promptly. When I see how effective I've become, it motivates me to really want to see the fast through and to maximize all of the benefits I'm getting from it. Now, autophagy. This is essentially the process of your body doing its own deep internal housekeeping. When starved for food for a time, your body will eventually begin attacking its own damaged and decaying cells and tissues, removing toxins from the body. It will also basically do a total reset of your endocrine system, balancing all your hormones, as well as repairing and restoring cellular function. There's also much anecdotal research and some clinical research which suggests that autophagy could be an important tool in slowing cancer proliferation. So while it's better not to develop cancer in the first place, I view fasting as a means to the end of initiating autophagy as sort of a preventive measure. And in today's world, with cancer rates skyrocketing, this is a very good reason to think about making fasting part of your wellness practice. Lastly, the digestive reset that comes from fasting is quite profound. Going into this fast, I was dealing with some acid reflux which cropped up spontaneously in the late fall. Of course, my Western doctors posited that this was the problem I was dealing with and immediately prescribed omeprazole, which can have some serious side effects. I decided that before taking something that I've never needed to take in my life up to this point, I would attempt addition by subtraction and see if fasting could help my body work things out and resolve the issue on its own. Not surprisingly, coming out of this fast, my acid overproduction is basically non-existent, and my vocal cords, which were irritated by the acid overproduction, have been largely restored. So these are the reasons why I did this particular fast. It was part intention setting to gain greater spiritual and mental clarity, and part physiological in order to give my body a total reset as well as resolve an issue I was dealing with. In order to have success fasting, I have found it crucial to titrate in and titrate out of the fast. Generally, 4 days before fasting, I'll switch to a slow carb, low carb diet, meaning primarily eating complex carbohydrates like brown rice, oats, and sweet potatoes, and reducing overall carbohydrate intake in general. 2 days before, I'll switch to no carbohydrates and start reducing my caloric intake in general in order to get my stomach to stop expecting as much food every day. Coming out of the fast, I've learned the hard way that it's best to ease back into eating. As a matter of fact, the book that I read that got me into fasting in the first place recommended that you break fast with homemade stewed tomatoes. Recently, I've been breaking fast with an arugula salad dressed with just a little olive oil and a lemon spritz, and then adding diced avocado and hard-boiled eggs. This seems to have been working just fine. While fasting, you're likely to experience many challenges, both physical and mental. Depending on how well you titrate into the fast, you may experience dynamic waves of hunger pangs. You come to realize that these hunger pangs come in less frequency and lower amplitude, meaning the highs are not as high and the lows are not as low. However, they do keep coming, so it requires great mental fortitude to remember the reasons why you're doing the fast in the first place and overcome those mental challenges as they present themselves. Also, you will see all of those around you eating food joyously. For some, this is very difficult. Again, I sort of enjoy the mental exercise that it is to stay present with what I'm focused on and staying on purpose with. In other words, resisting temptation. As far as physical energy required to execute daily tasks and operations, I would say generally prepare to be far less active physically and perhaps a little cloudy mentally at first. For me, this is always followed by a surge of energy and mental focus and clarity. But I must admit that I almost always feel pretty physically limited for the duration of the fast. This I also find okay because my body, just like my digestive tract and mind, sometimes need a total reset and rebalance. There you have some of my reasons for fasting, the ways that I like to get into and out of fasting, as well as strategies for dealing with some of the mental hurdles that you'll deal with during a fast. I hope you found this video tremendously helpful. Until next time, keep practicing.